Welcome. How do you 10x or 10 times your productivity without working 24 by 7? Time is the same for everyone, but the number of now moments is not the same for everyone. These are moments in which you are fully present. It could stretch to a second, a minute, or even an hour. In fact, in these moments, time loses its relevance. It has been observed that in these moments, your productivity is the highest. But how do you get into these moments while working? One of the ways is by applying your total energy to the task in action. So raising productivity becomes more about managing your energy and not your time. Let's understand why it is hard to apply your total energy to the task in action. This is because your action is always in the now, but in the background, your mind is constantly moving between the past or the future. So your mind ends up consuming a lot of energy. This leaves a lot less of your total energy for the task in action. To still the mind, you need to bring all your attention to the task in action. Whenever it drifts away to the past or future, you must bring it back. With constant practice, you'll be able to reduce the drift. Sometimes our mind moves to remind us of our to-dos. Our mind is a great processor of information, but it is not great at reminding us of our to-dos at the right time. We have all experienced this in our trips to the grocery store. You end up getting everything except the required item. This is because the mind reminds you of the required item everywhere except in the grocery store. So the best way to completely free your mind of reminding to-dos is to capture 100% of the to-dos in an external system and use it for reference. Another reason why the mind moves is multitasking, which involves context switching between tasks. Instead, you must give all your attention to one task for an extended period of time. These help to avoid your mind from consuming a lot of energy. It leaves a lot more of your total energy for the task in action. The aim is to get to a no mind state. Buddha called it the state of awareness. In the modern world, this is also called the flow state or being in the zone. You become so engaged in the task that you lose track of time. Your sense of self vanishes and you become egoless. Basically, awareness and action merge. Your total energy is flowing to the task in action. This is common in adventure sports, music, and video games. But this can also happen with work. There are several triggers to enter the flow state. One of the flow state triggers is having a clear goal. Moreover, the goal-related tasks should be well defined and also prioritized the night before. This avoids distraction. But distraction could also come from some urgent tasks. Note that the goal-related tasks are important but not urgent. So make sure you do more of these important tasks than urgent tasks daily. Another flow state trigger is immediate feedback. In adventure sports, the immediate feedback could be of getting hurt or even death. If immediate feedback is missing in your work, it can be purposely set up. For example, a live video being watched by many would put you in a flow state quicker than a video being recorded to be edited later. Beyond immediate feedback, another flow state trigger is avoiding self-scrutiny. You must just let go and trust the universe. When your inner critic is silenced, a big part of your mind stops consuming energy. An important thing to understand here is that for peak productivity, you must try to enter the flow state when your energy is high to begin with. Note that your energy is not constant throughout the day. Human body has a lot of cyclic processes like breathing, heartbeat, blood flow, sleep, wake, etc. Some of these cycles are short, some are long. Similarly, your energy is also cyclic. In fact, the medical industry has a name for this. It's called ultradian rhythm. We go from spending energy to renewing energy in a cyclic manner. There are peaks and valleys. Approximately, it rises and falls for 90 minutes and then takes 20 minutes to rise again. Everyone has their own cycles. You have to be self-aware to recognize these patterns. It takes around a week of close observation to become aware of it. When you're finding it hard to be fully present, it means you have low energy. You should then stop working and start renewing energy through relaxation. Now, to keep these cycles consistent and happening at the same time every day, you can follow rituals. This could be sleeping at the same time, also exercising at the same time. It's like self-discipline. Note that self-discipline is not bondage. On the contrary, it helps to free yourself from biological bondage. You become master of your energy and use it to your own advantage. Another important thing to understand is that your energy is not the same from peak to peak in the cyclic process. You can increase it by going to the source of your energy. Your body, which is matter, is powered by energy from within. But who's powering that energy? It's your consciousness. And your consciousness is powered by universal consciousness. Note that your breath is the bridge between your consciousness and universal consciousness. The seat of your consciousness is your inner center. It is located around 2 inches below the navel. This is called hara in ancient Zen teachings and also in martial arts. The correct way to breathe is to breathe deeper all the way to the hara. But when your mind is active, your breath becomes shallow and only goes to the chest. If you are stressed, it becomes even more shallow. Your energy is then lowered as your breath doesn't go all the way to the hara. So you must correct your breathing during the renewing phase and take it deeper all the way to the hara. This will increase your energy. Take deep breaths, but in a natural way for 5 to 10 minutes. You can lie down and keep both your hands on the hara, that is 2 inches below the navel. Your hand will go up and down if you're breathing correctly. A lot of people check social media or news during the renewing phase. This is actually a mistake as the mind becomes even more active or stressed. This makes the breathing even more shallow, lowering your total energy for the next peak. You can instead check social media or news at the end of your workday. But don't check it as the last thing going to sleep. This will affect the quality of sleep and thus your next day's productivity. Another way to correct your breathing is by walking in nature. The breathing becomes deeper in nature automatically. Sleep also corrects your breathing and makes it deeper. This is why we feel more energized after a good night's sleep. So you can choose to take a nap, guilt-free, during the renewing phase. Other pattern interrupts during the renewing phase can also correct your breathing and make it deeper. This could be like taking a shower or moving to another desk or changing your physical location. Similar to breath, love also increases your consciousness. If you really love doing something, then it automatically increases your total energy for the task in action. This is why Steve Jobs and Elon Musk will always encourage you to launch startups only around the things you love. So in summary, raising productivity is more about managing your energy and not your time. Come learn more about it at UpTinker. It'll help you in building your startup. And thank you for listening.